Hello, welcome back to the channel. So it was recently my birthday, and I will just say that it was 40 something. Every year it comes by and I'm just like, no, this is not happening. But it is happening. So for my birthday, I wanted to go up to Rocky Mountain National Park to do some photography. So I went up there for the past 3 days, and we went into the park. I was with my dad, and we went into the park, I think all 3 days. And then we also went up to Arapaho National Wildlife Reserve, which is a little bit further north up by the town of Walden. We had never really been there, so we just wanted to check that out. And yeah, this is a video of some of the highlights and some of the good photos that I got. And it was a great weekend. It was very relaxing. So yeah, let's just get right into the video.
One of the largest fires in Colorado history now has an official cause. The U.S. Forest Service announced today the East Troublesome Fire was human-caused.
Now, I come up to Rocky Mountain National Park multiple times a year. I've already seen the fire damage from 2020, and it's still very overwhelming, though. Every time I come back, and I hadn't been in a while, I just can't believe how far the destruction goes, how big of a fire this was. It really is hard to comprehend until you see it in person. So I recommend everyone should come up and see this. But it also makes me think, well, what wildlife would ever come back to this? And I found on this trip that some does. And it actually has given me some hope for the future that the park can grow back and be better than it was before. There's an osprey nest right along the highway, right just outside Granby, and we were driving home from the park that night and noticed that one of the parents was home. So we pulled off. There's one pull off along this road that does not give you the best perspective into the nest, but we were hoping to maybe see one of the hatchlings. And finally, in this clip, if you zoomed in, you could see one of the hatchlings was there. So it's really cool to see. We just never know when they're actually born. And if they make it. And so it's cool to see in this clip that at least one was, active. So we will definitely stop back by this osprey nest again later in the video. as we left the park that morning, my dad and I were talking about how disappointing it was that we had not seen any moose. We didn't see any moose the night before, and we had not seen any that morning either. We were talking about maybe the fire has just wiped out too much of the vegetation that they like to eat, like the willow bushes. There was a meadow that was full of willow bushes before the fire, and you could see moose there all the time. But of course, that meadow was burned in the fire. And so, maybe the moose have moved on to other areas where they've got more food. And that was until we were just about out of the park and we saw a large traffic jam, which means people were seeing something, and we figured it was probably just more elk. But then we saw this. All right, back to the osprey nest near Granby. This time we stopped by because we noticed that both parents were home. Mom and Dad were there. And Dad will usually stay and watch over the nest while Mom goes and hunts for food, usually gets fish out of Lake Granby, which is very close by. So Mom was home, and it looked like she was tending to the hatchlings, feeding them. So we sat and videoed for a minute, and I stopped shooting video and then switched over to stills when all of a sudden Dad took off from the nest and went down to a perch that's below the nest, but still pretty close by. So I zoomed in and looked. The dad had taken the fish that the hatchlings were eating. He decided he wanted it for himself, so he took the fish, went down to this other perch, and started eating for himself. So, deadbeat dad here. Look out.
Nice.
On the afternoon of July 1st, we drove north towards Walden to go to the Arapaho National Wildlife Reserve. They have a auto drive which goes around a bunch of lakes and ponds, so I thought it might be a cool spot to go see some birds. And then we were going to go back south where there was a trail called the Moose Goose Trail. And as the name implies, I thought it would be a good spot to go see some moose. All you're going to see in this clip is from the wildlife drive, and it was pretty dead. We did see a few things, which you'll see here. But then the Moose Goose Trail was very pretty, but there were no moose. But what there were thousands upon hundreds of thousands of mosquitoes. So there's really nothing from there. But yeah, it was cool to go up and see because we just had never been there before. Don't go up there yet. I think you're going to spook him away. I want to get a shot, but I can't see out through the buggy window.
You have to open your door, I think. Go. Kind of cool looking.
Yeah. All right, well, there you go. That is the end of the video. So thank you so much for watching. And yeah, it was a great birthday to get up there and go to the park and get some good photography. And, I put that little news clip in the beginning that they finally did determine that the East Troublesome fire was human-caused. And, I guess I'd always hoped that maybe it wasn't and, it was just some sort of natural thing. But nope, it was us again, which, really sucks. And I don't want to get on a soapbox here, but just when you're up there, you just have to be so careful because if you're not, it can really have I mean, insanely dire consequences. So, but like I said, I do think there's hope, and I do see parts of the park that are already, starting to come back. And, it is what it is. And, it's just an unfortunate event. So, but anyways, that's the end of the video. Thanks again for watching, and I will try to be back with another one here soon. Thanks.
Thank you.